In part 2 of lesson 2, we're going to be looking at some situations where we are either going to have to multiply a number of combinations together or add a number of combinations together. So for this example, William Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, and they can be divided into 3 genres. Of those 38 plays, 18 are comedies, 10 are histories, and 10 are tragedies. How many different sets of exactly 2 comedies and 1 tragedy can Mr. Hom, our English teacher, assign for you to read? Well, the key word here is exactly 2 comedies and 1 tragedy. I'm going to put together a couple different things. So first of all, how many different ways could he choose 2 comedies? Well, remember we were told that there are, 18 comedies to choose from. That being the case, there is a combination of 18 objects chosen 2 at a time. I'm going to need to evaluate that expression to figure out how many different ways can 2 of those comedies be chosen for. I also need to figure out how many different ways 1 tragedy can be picked if there are 10 to choose from. So I have 10C1 is that combination that I'm going to need to evaluate. Now, because I need to have exactly 2 comedies and 1 tragedy, and being the key word here, I am going to have to multiply these 2 numbers together to get the total number of combinations that I would have in this scenario. Reason being, I could have these 2 comedies, whatever they might be, and I could pick tragedy A, tragedy B, tragedy C, tragedy D, etc. There's a lot of different tragedies that could go with these 2. So however many combinations there are here, I have to multiply by however many combinations there are here as well. Now, evaluating both of those will save us a little bit of time. If you type these into your calculator, you should end up with 1,530 different combinations that Mr. Hom could assign to you in English class. Now the next example, it changes a little bit. How many different sets of, at most, 3 plays can you read? Well, if it's at most, I want you to think about this now. If it's at most 3 plays, that means we could read 3 plays. Now 3 plays is out of all total, so we have 38 total plays, so that means I might choose 3 plays out of the 38 possible. Now, at most means I also could choose 2 plays. That'd be okay. I might have 38 plays, but I'm only going to choose 2 of them. That's all right because it said at most. Or maybe I could just read 1 Shakespeare play and that would be good enough. Or maybe I don't like Shakespeare at all. I don't like reading. I don't like English class, so I'm going to choose to read none of Shakespeare's plays. So I've got 4 different combinations that I'm going to need to evaluate. The question is, do I multiply those together or do I add them? In this case, we're going to add because when it says at most, I equate that to this word. I'm going to say we could read 3 plays or 2 plays or 1 play or no plays. And when we're working with combinations and probability and things like that, when I see the word or, I equate that to the plus sign. I'm going to have this many plus this many plus this many plus this many. When I evaluate all 4 of those, again, just to save us a little bit of time, evaluate them, add them together, the total number of ways that you could read at most 3 plays would be 9,178. And hopefully that gives you an idea of how to work with combinations and whether you add them or multiply them in different situations.